Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, Star Wars Now, and in this video I'm going to be going over Star Wars The Bad Batch Episode 12, Rescue on Ryloth. Now, a couple things before I start the video. Number one, my other video that I just made yesterday, my Everything We Know About the Skywalker Saga Part 2, that was the Jar Jar Binks of all of my videos. It got 1 view, so if you want to un-Jar Jar Binks that video, then I guess go check that one out. Also, this episode does not have this episode is actually a Bad Batch episode. It's not like a Twi'lek episode where it's only Twi'leks, because last episode was, you saw Bad Batch for literally 30 seconds, and Echo, I don't even think Echo talked. So in this episode, this is actually a Bad Batch episode. So let me get right into it. Okay, so first of all, the episode is titled Rescue on Ryloth, and there's not some in-depth meaning where you have to go check George Lucas's history and go search through all the comics. No, pretty straightforward. Rescue on Ryloth. Hera has to rescue her parents, and she needs help from the Bad Batch. So we open up on Ryloth, and this episode has a heavy focus on the new class attack shuttle. If you don't know what that is, you're probably seeing it on the screen right now. That's those shuttles that Darth Maul was carried in Season 7 of the Clone Wars and was seen throughout the Clone Wars, and now they're being used in the Bad Batch. So you open up, and Admiral Rampart is talking to Cham and Eleni and Gobi in the cell, and they're saying that Rampart wants Cham to help find Hera, because I guess they're saying that Hera's not safe out there, but really Rampart just wants Hera. You know, she wants Hera for, I don't even know what he wants Hera for, but his main objective is to get a full influence over all the people of Ryloth and to try to get them to not oppose the Empire, try to get them to work at their refinery, which I'll talk about the refinery later. So naturally, Cham and Eleni do not agree to that, as they think that their daughter knows the planet very well, so they think that she's safer out there. So then it cuts to Hauser. Now this episode has a heavy focus on Hauser and Crosshair. So Hauser and Crosshair seem to have a bit of sibling rivalry, I guess you could say, because they are siblings. So they seem to have a bit of a sibling rivalry because Crosshair is obviously a higher ranking trooper, but Rampart's not very happy with Crosshair's performance. This episode also has a heavy focus on why the Empire stopped using clones. So this is one of the other reasons, is because Crosshair is not doing very well. He hasn't tracked down the Bad Batch, and every time that he's gotten close, he's lost them. So, and they still haven't tracked down Hera. So Hauser wants to track down Hera to help Cham, because Cham's a bit upset with him. Obviously, he's chosen his side, but he can't choose because he's got his inhibitor chip in his head. But I'll talk a bit more about the inhibitor chips later, because there's something fishy going on with those inhibitor chips, and it's not the bigger fish from the Phantom Menace.
There's always a bigger fish.
So it then cuts to Hera, who's been hiding out at the outpost that Cham has been using for his operations, and they contact the Bad Batch, and Omega gave Hera their comm signal, so Hunter's not very happy, and she's just trying to help a droid, a gonk droid. She's trying to help them, and then Hunter says that the gonk droid is defected, and then Omega says that they're all defected, which is true. Hera contacts them saying that she needs help, and at first Hunter is reluctant because, like she says, there's a big galaxy, and every time they need to go to help somebody, it's just, they're not soldiers anymore. They're mostly just kind of trying to keep alive and keep Omega safe. But then after a bit, Omega convinces them to go help Hera. So they land on the planet, and obviously Hera tells them their situation. Now they don't know that Crosshair is there yet, so that proves a bit of a problem later. So then they decide that they're gonna go check the ceremony out, because Rampart is he's making a big speech about the condition of what's going on right now. So when you get there, you can actually see a lot of probe droids. Now, I hate probe droids in Battlefront. They're so annoying to shoot down because you have to shoot them 3 times. They're kind of like tiny invisible missiles that, like, you just hear them humming, and then they just slowly get closer until they start shooting you down, and you can't figure out where to shoot. So they're very annoying. Except in Jedi Fallen Order, they're easier to take down. So they listen to Rampart's speech, and this is very important that he talks about how Orn Frita is expected to make a full recovery. Now I was watching Bombastic's video right now, and he talked a bit about it. He thinks that that Crosshair shot him in the Leku, which is those things that the Twi'leks have. Now he has 3 Leku for some reason. I don't know why he has 3 Leku, but most Twi'leks have 2 Leku. So he's expected to make a full recovery. Now, like I said in my other video, I absolutely hate that guy. So I was hoping that he was going to be done for, but apparently he's still alive. So they do a lot of mentions to last episode, and he's trying to get the Twi'leks to oppose Cham and be with the Empire, trying to pretend that it was Cham who tried to assassinate Orn Frita, when really it was Crosshair. And Hauser's a bit suspicious of that, because he says that I was there and it wasn't from Cham, and he asks who the shot was, but Rampart is acting like he's all, oh, who shot the shot then? And he says, I don't know. So it seems that Hauser does not know. It's like the Empire's trying to keep all the clones on their side, but they're starting to ask questions. He's not telling the clones the full details. So then Hunter scales the wall and jumps and takes the probe droid down. Now, I wish you could do that in Battlefront. That would be very cool if you could just knife the probe droid, but sadly you can't. So now Crosshair knows that they're there. Rampart and Crosshair knows that they're here now. So Hunter thinks that it's a bad idea for them to try to go to the capital, and he mentions that plasma bridge that you see throughout the Clone Wars is disengaged. So there are a lot of mentions to the Clone Wars and how Cham was a freedom fighter, and I want to talk about a bit more about Eleni and in Rebels, because in Rebels Eleni is nowhere to be seen. Eleni is Cham's mom, is Hera's mom, if you don't know, and I think they mentioned that Eleni dies, but I thought we were going to see her death in this episode, but apparently we didn't. So then when they get back, Hunter says it's a very bad idea and that it's not worth the risk, and that they can't help anybody if they're dead. And his main idea is he just wants to protect Omega. That's all he wants to do. He's not trying to be selfish at all. He just wants to protect Omega. But then after a bit of convincing, again, Omega convinces Hunter to help Hera because it's strategically good, and how Hera knows the planet. So their plan is that Chopper is going to go disguise as another droid like he always does, but Sabine is not here to paint him, so he's just going to pretend that he's one of those other droids, and they're going to take down those turbo lasers that you could see in last episode. Now, Tech mentions that those are auto turrets, so that they're not controlled by a person, so that means that they're pretty easy to take down, because now they're controlled by one central computer, that if they short out the circuit, then all the turbo lasers go down. So their plan is to take down the turbo lasers, then they're going to shoot the entire place up as a disguise. They're going to shoot the refinery up, rescue Cham, Eleni, and Gobi, and then escape. But Crosshair seems to know what he's doing, and he knows that the Bad Batch have a different strategy. So when Chopper goes under disguise, Omega and Hera can watch from a distance, because obviously Hunter's trying to keep them safe. So Chopper goes in, and he's nearly caught out by 2 stormtroopers, I guess you could call them now. He nearly gets caught up by 2 stormtroopers, and then Hera and Omega take one of those new class attack shuttles and shoot up the entire place and get Chopper. So now like Hera said, this is Hera's first time in a combat flying mission, because she's barely ever flown. So Tech flies the Bad Batch's ship, while Hera and Omega fly the new class attack shuttle, and they start shooting up the place. So now Tech and Echo and Hunter can go rescue Cham and Eleni, but like I said, Crosshair knows what they're doing. So Crosshair plans to set a trap.
It's a trap!
Where he's going to wait at the door. He's disobeying Rampart's orders. He's going to wait at the door with a whole battalion of troopers. Wait till they come out that door, because he knows what they're doing, and then he's going to shoot them or whatever, or arrest them. So then when they go in, they rescue Hauser, they rescue Gobi and Cham, and so they were going out, but then Hauser comes in and tries to save them. So at first they're reluctant to trust Hauser because he's betrayed them. Cham is very disappointed in Hauser choosing his side, but this has a lot to do with, I think this is why the Empire stopped using clones, because they realized that the clones, after a while, they started asking questions, started to get their own free will. So now, like at the end, I'm going to talk about the end later, how all those troopers stand down and go with Hauser. So now it looks like the inhibitor chips last long. It's like it's just Order 66, then they turn off or something. So now they're kind of off the control of the Empire now. Now they know what they're doing. So Hauser tries to tell them to stop, but they're not listening. But then after he tells them that he has to trust them, that he made a terrible mistake, and then they trust him. And they escape through the back and take Ornfrita's personal shuttle, because he's not going to need it anytime soon. He's still recovering. So now Hauser confronts Crosshair and all his brothers, and they just arrest him. I was expecting that they were going to shoot him down, but he's able to get all the clones on his side, but then Crosshair's team arrests them. So now the Bad Batch has escaped, and Eleni and all of them are good. So they've succeeded in their rescue, and at the end, Rampart is very upset with Crosshair as not get them. Crosshair didn't succeed in getting them. So now Rampart gives Crosshair full permission to go hunt them down throughout the galaxy. So I'm guessing that's going to be this was episode 12, so the last 4 episodes are probably going to be Crosshair hunting them down, and then the epic finale where we finally get a reveal if Omega is force sensitive or not. So now at the end, this was a pretty short episode. I didn't really find much Easter eggs, except for that probe droid and the new class attack shuttle. So at the end, now this is very important, because at the end, everybody's okay. So they land on Ord Mantell, and everybody's okay. So I guess Eleni's not going to die in this episode. I was expecting that she was going to die, but I guess she's not going to die yet. So maybe like Hera said, Hera hopes that she's going to see Omega again. So maybe season 2 of The Bad Batch, because I'm hoping that there will be a season 2 of the show, because it's very good. Maybe in season 2 we will see the death of Eleni, and hopefully Crosshair will be good in season 2. But that was all the Easter eggs that I found in this episode. It was not really any Easter eggs. It was a pretty straightforward episode, but that's all, like I said, that's all the Easter eggs I found. Hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
So be it, Jedi. Huh?